Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your nighttime or right time DJ Music. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Shop. As you see right there on the screen, we're going to be talking about the migrant crisis in all the different cities, focusing on Chicago and New York. As always, on the Chop Shop with me, ladies and gentlemen, I got my good friend and my co-host, Shaw Willie. Why don't you come on in, Shaw, and say hello to the good folks, would you, if you don't mind? How come don't you?
Well, hello everyone. How are you doing out there?
Yeah, so what's going on your neck of the woods there, Shaw? How's it going? How's the weather?
You know,
I'm sorry, I forgot. My bad. Some wines, cheese, and some crackers over there. I even got more comfortable chair for you. Got some nice down feathers up off in the seat cushions and things like that. Want
oh,
you to be
that's what that is.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. You didn't notice that?
I wasn't sure what that was. Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem.
hmm
No problem. I got you covered. I got you covered. But anyway, so how's the weather there in good old Chi-Town?
Oh, it's been summer on Monday and winter on Tuesday. It's been very interesting.
You got a definition of summer, what you call summer, what
Okay,
I
well,
call yeah.
it's 70 degrees on Monday and 40 degrees on Tuesday. How about that?
Okay, for that part of the country, yeah, that would be summer for y'all. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you
yeah,
very much.
you know, call that nice spring weather around here, but that's hot down there. You got Chi-Town, while we're here, I guess with the good weather, the migrants ain't got to worry about being out in the cold too much.
Yeah, but they're taking over the bus shelters because we've been having a lot of rain as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a lot of rain, so a lot of little ones out there, and from what I understand, sure, from what I've been looking back at and watching through the migrant situation, they're about to do some evictions.
Word on the street, yes, they are.
Word on the street is about to put them out.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that's going to work out, but I do know they want you to, you know, open up your heart and let them in
Let them in the where.
to your abode, your place of residence.
And they got two chances of that: slim and none.
Okay.
I'm waking up. I don't want to be smelling fabuloso all over my house. Let me stop. Somebody flag me.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, that's another thing because in some of the clips that we're going to see, everything from the migrants are complaining about not having. We're going to open up with that not having diapers, enough diapers and baby formula for the little bambinos as they call them. You know,
hmm
also word on the street, and I got to say I can kind of confirm the word on the street that the migrants is getting about $9,000, at least 500 families, close to $10,000 free
Hmm.
government. Government. That's what I heard. That's the word on the street. You heard that?
I heard the same thing, and I also was thinking about, it might be too early for Halloween to dress up as one and get in line.
Yeah, sadly for me, I think I'm a little too dark. You know,
A little makeup, you know.
yeah, and change my accent a little bit.
hmm And just
Yeah,
nod your head. Yeah.
yeah, no habla, no habla.
Yeah, that works. It
Okay,
works for them.
yeah, change my name from Stevie to Esteban.
Hey, it'll work. Try it.
Let me see how that sounds. Coming to you live from this beautiful port city of Charleston, South Carolina, Esteban music. Nah,
You pass.
nah, I'm gonna pass on that one.
Okay.
But without further ado, Sean, let's get right into it. Like I said, the first clip that we're gonna monitor here and look at and now give our reviews on. I've combined them together for about 30 minutes of material, so we'll stop it when we need to.
Okay.
And you folks, you're down there in the listening lounge or wherever you're tuning in from. A while back, Shar, we said the migrants wasn't getting nothing. Proven they wasn't getting anything, but that's drastically changed here in the last couple of weeks, months. You're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. He's starting with these diapers. Y'all check this out.
Families living in Chicago facing a serious problem tonight. It's putting their children's safety at risk. A diaper shortage.
Tia Ewing joins us live now with a closer look at this. Tia.
Well, Dawn and Scott, I spoke to a mother who's living inside this shelter here in the 2300 block of South Halsted here in the Lower West Side. You could hear the chaos, but what she explained to me through that phone call is that she's actually living it.
They're only allowed 2 diapers a day, and that's per.
Okay, first off, you know I was gonna stop it right there.
Okay.
What is anybody with a small baby gonna do with 2 diapers a day?
Change every 12 hours. That's the most you can do.
And I hope they don't poop.
Well,
I don't know. That sounds a little bit dramatic right there. 2 diapers a day. That's my point. Sounds a little bit trying to tug at your heartstrings. 2 diapers?
but only 2 diapers a day.
Right. Last 2 diapers. Last 2 diapers. Here we go.
Child.
This is the shelter for families located on 23rd and Halsted.
The diaper situation is not fair to everyone.
Maria Perez comes here Monday through Friday to serve up free hot cocoa and coffee. She's followed many of the asylum seekers from the police stations to the shelters.
Parents are forced to leave the diapers on longer. They're only, putting them on at night.
Perez says there are 2,500 people living here. A large majority are children. Mothers have come to her in tears over the lack of necessities for their babies.
When they ask for more things, like the people at the shelter are insulting them when they ask for things back. So they're going to just take what they're given. They're not going to ask for more things when they're being insulted.
The city did receive roughly 50 pallets of supplies, including diapers. That was last week. The city gets supplies from the Illinois Emergency Management Agency and FEMA, and also outside vendors. A city official says shortages from those agencies can result in shortages in the shelters.
They're telling me is that the people inside the shelter are not distributing the diapers, but 2. Doesn't matter the size of the baby, doesn't matter the age of the child.
The Southwest Collective is made up of 5 moms. They do receive donations, but the founder says often they share the burden and will go in their pocket to help others. That includes Chicagoans and migrants.
Diapers are in a really short supply, and so sometimes not everybody has them, and we go out and we get them, especially if we're talking about a certain size or a certain need.
Again, I don't see how that would be possible. It seemed to me that would be almost impossible, not unless you got cloth diapers and you're going to be washing them out when the child, because it's hard to regulate, especially a newborn to, a year old, when they're going to use the bathroom. 2 diapers is just not going to cut it. So to me, Short, agree or disagree, wouldn't that be considered creating a bit of a health hazard?
I would think so. And also, if you just want to go there, what was your diaper supply from your home to here?
Right. No, and in this video, I saw a whole bunch of pallets full of diapers. So why, instead of putting it on the news, why ain't y'all giving them out?
Well, those probably were clips from inside a store, but they're
Okay.
getting donations and everything. All they have to do is, maybe take $1,000 from each one of those people they're giving 9,000 to, and there's your diaper money right there.
Yeah, how about that? Brothers in need is a brother indeed, ain't it? Hey, I got $1,000 from the government. Let me go ahead and buy y'all some diapers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's continue here to see what our next clip gonna bring to us.
And it's not just diapers that's an issue. Baby formula also needed for a lot of these moms. And just being out here right now, we know that different parts of our viewing area, it's in the 30s. Some places it's in the 40s. And just looking around, we've seen several children out here.
Rory's NBC5 investigates Chicago's migrant crisis. By the end of next week, thousands of asylum seekers will be forced to leave the city's shelters under the new 60-day limit policy. Investigative reporter Bennett Haberly is here with the challenges ahead for these migrants, but also, Bennett, for city leaders.
Oh, that's right, Stephen. It will mean increased pressure on the city, faith organizations, and migrants themselves to find a place to stay. We asked Mayor Brandon Johnson about that deadline this week. His answers came only after we pressed him several times.
To Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Mayor Brandon Johnson on stage this week.
Every single young person, I want you to apply today.
To promote a summer jobs program, initially sidestepped questions about if the city would once again.
Okay, that would be my first question, Shaw. If the mayor's there promoting a summer job program with all them damn migrants, why we got to work for the money and they getting it for free?
You know how that go. He's just trying to make that seem like it's something he's doing, and then he's going to talk about, well, the children, they need something to do, they need to earn money, and that's why a lot of them out stealing and doing other things, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but that was going on long before the migrants got there.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's funny how the folks like to turn a blind eye to something until you start pointing out what they're doing for somebody else.
Right.
What you got to say about that, Mr. Mayor? You're not too popular in Chicago, from what I'm gathering. Is he, Sean? Not at all.
Not at all. They counting down when his term is over. I think he's in there 8 months. That's the last thing I heard.
Is he one of them one-term mayors?
Yeah, he is.
All right, brother man, you better do all you can now then.
Postpone the impending deadline for migrants to leave the shelters.
The city has twice or three times pushed the deadline back. Are you prepared to do that again?
We're compassionate people. I got you. I got you.
No, don't say that to him.
No, it's okay. But is it okay if I say that we are compassionate people, though? Do I have your permission to say that?
Mayor, it does. It just doesn't.
Okay. So it's not okay that I let people know that Chicago's compassionate? And let me just.
What do you think about that, Shaw? Is it okay to let folks know you're compassionate?
It would be nice to let us know the answer to the question that we asked.
Yeah, it's obvious that you're compassionate. That's the.
We don't know the answers to the questions that people are asking. That's what we need to hear from you. But you never give us those answers.
Right. I smell. Okay, let you talk.
We are compassionate people. And so we're doing everything in our power to demonstrate compassion. Now, as far as whether or not we will extend deadlines, we haven't gotten to that point. All right.
The mayor's spokesman later confirmed that the first wave of migrants will be asked to leave starting on March 16th. Those reaching their...
Okay, Shaw, that's less than a week away?
What's the date? It sounded like you said
March 16th, right.
Oh, 16th, okay.
Right.
So you're going to be asked to leave. You're going to say, excuse me, can you leave now?
And then what? Go where?
Exactly. And then they like, oh, me don't understand. I'm sorry.
Right. You can go where, right, and get back in the line again and just get recycled in first come, first serve? That's what's going on?
Now that part, how they're going to do that, I don't know. They're going to have some buses waiting or what?
Right. That's my question. When they evict these folks, where are they going to take them to? They're going to send them back to Texas? They can't bring them to South. Right. They can't bring them to South Carolina. We don't play that here.
Sound like some talk to me. That's all. Just some talk.
Right. Rubbish. Garbage. Like they say in New York. That's garbage.
Right. No plan at all.
60-day limit will have the opportunity to re-enter the shelter system. But Johnson told reporters the city's main goal is to resettle as many people as possible.
Are you guys seeing the demand for this ramp up?
as we approach this deadline?
Yeah, absolutely.
Charlotte Long works with the Sanctuary Working Group, a grassroots organization helping a small number of migrant families find housing, and with the help of grant funding, is paying their rent. The resources are finite. Charlotte says finding landlords willing to take on migrants who are eager to work but have no steady income is challenging. You were.
Does that make sense?
Challenging. How about the word impossible?
Right, impossible. So I'm just basically, you want me to let you move these folks into my house. They don't speak English. They're from another country. They have no job, and you want me to just basically move in and take care of them. Not only I have to give them a roof over their head. I got to feed them too. Did you calculate that in? My water bill gonna go up. My electric bill gonna go up.
Everything, sewage, all of it.
Right,
gas.
everything. Right. Because they're not asking you to take in single folks, they're asking you to take in families.
Just think, you be trying to get rid of your cousin. Now you're gonna have a whole slew of people.
Right. No, my friend. Oh no, my friend. They said I could not leave. No, I'm sorry, folks. This is getting just a little bit out of hand. If you quite ask me, I think the floodgates have opened. There's no way to go back from what this debacle that's been happening. We've been covering over the last almost 2.5 months now. Sure.
Just about, yeah.
All right. And for every week that we've covered, it's just gotten progressively worse. Wouldn't you think so?
I would definitely agree to that.
Right. It's all about the money, it seems to me. And as we get further into this, you'll see exactly what I mean by that. It's all about the money. Somebody getting some big dollars.
Yes.
That people will end up on the street.
Absolutely. You already see the amount of migrants I see selling candy has tripled in the last few months. Children.
Where they get the candy from? Who gives them all the candy and the snacks to sell on the street? Where they buy it from? These are the questions I would like to know. They got Snickers. They got Doritos. They got Milky Ways. Where they get the candy from to sell?
I don't know. I'm not for certain, but whether it's stolen or discounted, we not buying it. That's what I could tell you.
Well, I'm sure I guess it's just like on walking through a maze now of people trying to sell you candy and stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Selling candy because literally the family doesn't have any other option.
This family we met outside Union Station told NBC5 Investigates they were flown here from Texas months ago. They don't have work permits and are currently renting a room for $600 a month.
I see their faces when I'm sleeping. I think about their names all the time. If I'm driving around the neighborhood and I see a for rent sign, I call it immediately because I can't stop thinking about housing and shelter. I can't stop thinking about where are they going to stay.
According to the city, as of late January, roughly 1,000 migrants had obtained work permits. Of the 14,000 that were in shelter at the peak of winter, only 7,500 were eligible for state-funded rental assistance.
Okay, so where they gonna put the rest of them at? What they gonna do with the rest of them?
I guess it's going to be like this lady that's so concerned. She's going to be looking out for them and calling places.
Right. You're going to hear her say a little bit later, even when she see a for rent sign, she calling. Folks, I hate to say this to my palm-colored brothers and sisters. I sure wish y'all showed this much compassion for some of these other folks that's homeless in these cities.
Yeah, you could even start with just the veterans.
Right, that would be nice for somebody to go to bed thinking, one of those homeless veterans out there don't have no place to sleep tonight. Why is all of a sudden homelessness a problem now? Because some folks that decided they needed a better way of living came over here and made themselves homeless. No disrespect. Your problem can't become our problem.
Well, It is now, at
It
least for
is.
a lot of us blue states anyway, and
Yes,
taxpayers, so it doesn't even matter. It's going to hit the
yes, this
red states too.
right. This is taxpayer. Now think about this. New York, but between New York and California, they kind of lead the nation, and that money that's get this the federal money that gets from there to there. Of course, New York being, as we know it, to be the kind of like the financial capital of the United States. And then just think about all the swarm of migrants that's there, that's just eating away, chipping away at taxpayer money through millions and millions of dollars supporting them. If nothing ain't going in, what's going to happen to New York sooner or later? It's got to go bankrupt.
I think it already is, just like
Right
Illinois.
there. Right. It's got to go bankrupt sooner or later, right? Or the influx of those many people, and where y'all getting this $1,000 from to get these folks? Let's continue.
Charlotte's worry is that as the migrant population decreases in city shelters, another one could increase: the number of Chicago's homeless. We asked City 3 times for updated figures on how many people could be impacted. They tell us those numbers still being tabulated. The state of Illinois, by the way, has spent $45 million helping at least 5,000 families resettle. And
$45 million so far, Shar.
For 5,000 people, that's it?
I thank you for that small number of people. $45 million, and all you've helped is 5,000 people.
Grab your calculator. Calculate that for me.
I know I can't do it. I know I ain't got my calculator. Hey, where Google at? Somebody call up Google and see how much them folks getting.
Okay.
Hey there, Miss Tide. How you doing? Welcome to the fray here. We're talking about the migrants. See, she left me a message saying, "You could have told me sub to the wrong channel." How I know?
Oops.
Right. But welcome. All right, there, Short. Like I said, it's how do they expect the average American, especially the average homeless American, not to be upset about what they're seeing? When it's documented case now, these folks are definitely getting this money. We see people pouring out their hearts like this last lady to the migrants that's coming into this country, but not reciprocating for red-blooded Americans, as they call them.
But I'm still going back to that number of 5,000.
You got to calculate out.
I can't shake that. The fact I know it's more than 5,000 here.
Right.
So my question, what about the other people? You just didn't count them?
Okay, remember that that building that they put, the number that they put up beside the building, says at least that there was 1,000 in this one particular shelter. There's 23 shelters.
Okay.
So it's got to be more than 5,023 shelters.
Right.
They said there's 144,000 migrants that's come into the city of Chicago since 2023, and all y'all help is out of what they say, 45 million.
Right.
All they gave out of that, it helped us. All they commanded to help was 40 or was 5,000 migrants. That's kind of stretching it, ain't it?
I think so.
Right? Who getting the money? You getting any of it?
I'm not.
No, somebody getting it. Let's see if we can maybe we can find out in this next clip who getting some of this money.
Another $1 million in what it calls out migration, paying for plane, train, and bus tickets for migrants who end up not staying in Illinois.
Okay, so remember in one of our, I think it was our second or third episode when we was talking about the buses, and we was asking who was footing the bill for these buses going back and forth.
Yes.
So now we're finding out, right? We are.
Right. No surprise there.
Right.
None whatsoever.
None.
Stephen.
Welcome back. We are learning much more about the migrant crisis right here in Chicago. I spoke with Christina Passioni-Zayas, the city's first deputy chief of staff. She gave me insight on how the crisis is impacting the city and the state financially. Already this week, 41 buses have rolled into Chicago, and that means there are now 11,000 migrants living in shelters. 4,000 are still sleeping on police station floors and staying at the airport.
Oh, okay, sorry. Didn't we just hear a number? She said 11,000 migrants, and all and all they managed to help was 5,000.
And they patting themselves on the back. Okay.
Yeah. No, folks, this is not a record that y'all should be bragging about. Agreed.
Agreed.
Now, this is really startling. 30% of migrants here in Chicago are children. Majority of them are attending Chicago public schools. Right now, this is footing the bill for what they call temporary housing, apartments and homes that are rented out for migrants. The state is paying on the high end $9,000 in rental assistance over a 6-month period of time.
There it is. Y'all heard it for yourself. $9,000 in rental assistance. Let one of us right now go to one of these places and say, I need rental assistance. You got to tell them everything, where your mama live at, where your sister came from, who your last 3 girlfriends was. You got to damn near tell them everything. And then they're going to put you on a list. Come back in 6 months. We might be able to help you.
Shoot. 6 months, more like 6 years.
Right. Right. A bitch tired. We couldn't get it. I guarantee you right now, if one of us, anybody that's listening or anyone that will listen, if we are in need of some shelter right now, and if we go to one of these places and say, can we get $1,000 a month? First thing they're going to tell you is you must be on drugs. Let's go back and take him in the back and test him.
Yeah, they're going to hand you a clipboard and say, fill this out and
Right,
check
fill
back
this
in
out.
2032.
Right. And matter of fact, while you checking out, make sure you send us something every week to let us know that you're searching for a job.
Okay.
And if you happen to find one that makes this null and void, as soon as you find a job, $1,500 a month. Wow. So for those 5, she did that. It looks like she did the math for us there, Sharp.
Okay.
$1,500 a month. Wow. Somebody's pocket's getting fat, and it ain't the migrants either, is it?
Yeah. The money goes to the, what is it? Department of something that handles the state. They take
Right.
everything and distribute the rest.
Right.
With that comes help moving in and a starter kit to furnish the apartment.
A starter kit.
People would have.
They get a starter kit to furnish the apartment. We can't have them sleeping on the floor. Got to get them some nice furniture, some Sealy Posturepedic. You
Wow,
think they're going? Go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say, I remember it was a long time ago, I think in the 90s, where you used to get a voucher to go to the Goodwill.
Goodwill. Yes. You took the words right out of my mouth. Back in the day, they used to give you a voucher. You go to Goodwill, and the furniture that's donated or the clothes that's donated, they let you just go through and pick out what you want.
Wow.
And it's also, I don't know if they have them in Chicago, Sharp, but down here in South Carolina, we have this thing called Habitat for Humanity. It's like another, it's a refurbished store. Same principle.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But if somebody giving you $1,500 to go buy some furniture, as you going to the refurb store,
I'm going to Lazy Boy.
right.
I'm going to their showcase.
Right, you're gonna get you one of them purples or one of the Posturepedics or something. You're not going to the Goodwill. They even better than us.
Started their legal process, secured legal work authorization, and then be able to sustain that apartment. And so the cost, or I guess the payment towards the landlord, is based on market rate. It's based on the configuration of the apartment, how many rooms, where it's located, all of those things. And so it kind of varies from place to place.
Now, Shar, if you don't mind me asking, what do you think the average rent is in Chicago? Well, in the area that you live in.
I would say 1 bedroom, 1,300, 2 bedrooms, about 17, 3 bedroom, about 22 to 24. And I haven't looked after that to see what's happening.
Right. So the reason why I ask you that is, okay, if you know the government or the state is going to pay that rent for you, are you going to charge? Are you we would hope that people would do business the right way, but we know there's price gougers. So do you really think if for apartments, like you said, cost $2,000, they're not charging $3,000 for it?
They're going to charge whatever the government will give them. They like whatever that number is, that's what they're going to charge. And you better, because they're not going to leave that place in the same condition.
That's right. They're going to charge them a clean-up fee. They're going to charge them a move-in fee. And they're going to charge them a move-out fee. And it's going to become a revolving door. As long as those migrants are coming in, when one family moves in, moves out, another family moves in. And that just keeps the money flowing for them.
Yep.
It's a good gig if you can get it, don't you think?
I agree. Much better than Section 8. You got so many rules with that.
We even touched on Section 8. Of course, I try to stay away from some of the stuff that them folks be talking about on that other side of the street over there. But this pales in comparison to what they're talking about Section 8.
Yeah.
I don't know too many people on Section 8 getting 10 grand a month.
No. They're complaining about the EBT card and weave they wear. So just imagine.
Right. Right. And I think if I'm correct about this card that they're giving these folks, they can pretty much just buy whatever they want with it. But from what I understand, I don't use EBT, and I don't know nobody that does right offhand. So, from what I do understand is there's only certain things that you can buy with your Eat Better Things card, EBT card.
Well, if they put some cash on there, they can buy whatever cash, and then they got the food stamp part, and that's the foods part of it. I can't see them not giving them both. That's just me. I just don't see it.
Right, so they're getting a food card and a cash card is what you're saying.
Well, it's all in one.
All in one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's continue on here, folks. Hello to everybody.
We're out of time, but I did reach out to the city to see how many asylum seekers are currently taking advantage of the rental assistance program. We haven't heard back from the city on that.
Haven't heard back from them yet, huh?
Phone must be disconnected.
Right, we ain't telling y'all nothing. Didn't you hear 5,000 earlier? We done helped 5,000 people. What else you want?
Okay.
Let's continue.
Emotional outbursts, at times so heated, police had to step in. We're talking about city council today and a vote to spend $51 million on helping migrants here in Chicago. CBS 2 political investigator Dana Kosloff was there for all the action, and Dana, strong feelings all around.
Yeah, Erica, and for many different reasons, among them the fact that this $51 million approved today is only a short-term fix, and more money will be needed in just weeks.
I don't know why I thought, but you remember the movie 50 million with Chris Tucker in it and Jackie Chan. Well, I can't think of the name of the movie. When they said 50 million, 51 million.
Oh, I remember that movie.
Right. Who do you think you kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton?
Okay.
51 million. What y'all think we got?
Okay. We ain't got it like that.
Right, we ain't got it like that.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot continue to falsely pit communities against one another.
Deep emotional wounds coming to the surface.
As Black people who have been hurt continuously by the city and country it loves, it ain't our responsibility to take care of everybody else.
And anger.
We don't want to have to recall anybody. We don't want to have to protest anybody, but we are not going to be ignored, Brandon. Mayor Johnson.
Many.
Uh-oh. She must know him. Called him by his first name.
Okay.
Brandon. But I mean, two sentiments of something we spoke of in this broadcast tonight, Shaw. You know, you saw the sentiment of despair from the lady that was crying, and then you saw the sentiment of pure anger from the one lady right there. We ain't putting up with this shit no more. But one thing, the poignant point that the lady did say is, we can't help everybody. Just can't
That's
do
so
it.
true. It's so true.
Let's continue, folks.
In Chicago's Black community and the city council speaking out against spending $51 million to house migrants, asking when will the help for them finally become a reality.
And it cannot be put on the backs of the residents of Chicago without showing them that they're getting something out of this.
Mayor Brandon Johnson, presiding over his second full city council meeting, had to ask for calm more than once.
Will the Sergeant of Arms please restore some order?
Police also.
And natives have gotten restless up off in there. Listen, I know we're making light of this, but for that many policemen to be on the ready like that, they must have was expecting some trouble, wasn't they?
Oh yeah, because you can't even get to this dude to talk to him. You just can't. So the fact that now you finally can meet with him and talk to him, I got something to say, and he's not really trying to hear most of that.
Right, but I mean, again, as a citizen of as a citizen of that area in the Chicago area, when you heard the two ladies, you think their sentiments are warranted from what you're going to hear.
You know, we talk, we can say all we want at this point. The damage is done. It's going to continue, and it's so unfortunate that we finally get the camera in front of us to say a few things, but there's literally no power that we have to make a change with this. That's unfortunate. That's what bothers me.
So from a layman's ear, what I'm hearing is that your the heads of state, like the mayor, is weak.
Exactly. He's a, what did he call it? A pawn?
Puppet?
Puppet, yeah.
That's
what he
puppet.
Is. Right.
He's there just there for status quo and nothing, not to make real change.
Exactly. And I would just appreciate just a little truth. Just let us know that we know we're not losing it. We see you. At least give us a glimpse that, well, yeah, there's not much I can do. However, throw that in there. Then we're like, oh, okay, yeah, his hands tied. Okay. Yeah, okay. He's a puppet.
Right.
We know this, though.
Right. So, Mayor, if you ever listen to this is one of your residents, one of your constituents, one of your voters. Basically, what she's saying to you is, we understand that the migrants here, but at least show us that you care about us too.
Right. Stop avoiding every time someone asks you a question. Just be honest. People like the truth sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah,
but,
depends on where you're at.
Right. Give a little bit. Give a little bit to the people.
Here we go. Let's continue.
Intervening at one point to allow the meeting to proceed. Ultimately, the measure passed with 34 votes. Many who voted to approve the money, like 49th Ward Alderwoman Maria Haden, call this an immediate crisis that needs attention. But, she says, so do concerns of the city's Black residents.
Why are Black people in Chicago and some communities so angry? Why is all this kind of anti-immigrant sentiment coming up?
And I want to explain to folks, it's because if we cared as much about Black people and had over the decades about everyone else, we wouldn't be here.
But the money from a
What you think about that, Shaw? Sound like more politician talk? We've been saying that she didn't say anything new. We've been saying that for years. Black folks been saying that for years. That was nothing new that she just said. Right. It's not about right at this point in time. I understand, sometimes it's good to revert back to history, but in this point in time, you need to deal with the here and now. The here and now is we see, well, you folks, especially in Chicago and New York and some other places, we see what you're doing for these migrants, and we've been struggling for the last year to try to get better schools, like in Flint, Michigan, trying to get better water. I don't see them rushing the migrants to Flint, Michigan.
Okay. Right.
No, so no, Miss Lady. I mean, you're again. I like these folks to talk about. They have these mic drop moments. Your mic drop moment was an utter failure because we've heard that, we've seen that movie too.
Okay.
2021 budget surplus will only last 1 month. Many Alder people say it's time for a long-term plan and some state and federal help. With that, should taxpayers be concerned?
I think we should all be concerned anytime we're having to utilize this level of resources on a temporary situation, especially with not a real sight of federal support coming.
Hours after the meeting, Mayor Brandon Johnson offered no specific.
There's space heaters, which are very dangerous. There were extension cords, all types of things which the fire department felt was a fire hazard. So they shut down both of those locations. We're talking over 100 men, at least 45 beds, about 70 men in each location.
Beautiful skyline.
45 men, sure, 70 locations. You put 45 men in a room with nothing to do, no money.
Uh-oh. Sound like a Manosphere meetup. Uh-oh.
Right. I was about to say what they had in Atlanta. It sounds like a Manosphere meetup. but listen though, I mean, I don't know if you folks have seen it. There's a guy that's driving around to cities in a lot of cities in the South, especially in Black rural areas, and every town that he goes in, that where the men are the predominant person that lives in that town, and if they're under a certain age, crime is at an all-time high. Any place where the women are there, and the population is a little bit older, and she said there's 45 young men per room. How big is the room, first of all?
It ain't big enough. It's too much testosterone in one room.
Basically, that's like county jail if you ever been there, isn't it? They don't care how many sardines they pack in the can.
Mm-mm.
But I would imagine, sure, again, it's all about the money. I would imagine that the hotel is getting paid handsomely per head.
Oh, yes. Believe that.
Let's see what we got next here.
Shot, one of my favorite in the U.S. But also, as we are discussing the very latest of border security, we also need to talk about the migrant crisis. Joining us,
police them in real time. Too bad the House Speaker says it's dead on arrival in Congress. But the border agents, you see, what do they care about?
Okay, sure. Before we go any further, let me set this next clip up. I used to, this guy here, Chris Cuomo, for those of you who don't know him, he used to be a commentator on CNN. His brother was mayor of New York. I think he might have been, if not the predecessor, not too poor, Eric Adams was the mayor of New York. Okay, or whoever the mayor of New York is. So, but this is his brother. But, I used to like his commentary. He seemed to be fair and biased. And what got him in trouble is, how do you say that, get on a newscast and say that your brother is corrupt. When actually we found out Andrew Cuomo was, especially during the COVID era. You know, a lot of things that he was putting out wasn't true. But his brother Chris at this time, Chris Cuomo, was on CNN, and instead of reporting the news fairly, of course and CNN didn't shy on that. But he bounced back, and he's on another news channel now. So I ran into him, and you hear the Republicans talking about what we need to do about the border. And there was a bill that was just that the Speaker of the House said that was being dead on arrival that could have alleviated some of the problems that we're having at the bipartisan bill, as they call it. So let Chris talk about it, and we'll stop it when we need to.
Themselves being safe, keeping you safe. And what's the GOP primarily concerned with? Let's be honest. Their own safety in power. So Capitol Hill continues to play the game. And with that in action, localities are doing all kinds of stuff to deal with the flood of migrants. In New York City, 70,000 migrants have flooded in over the past year, straining local resources. Washington has been all but deaf to the needs, even though the president is of the same party as the mayor, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and the governor, Governor Kathy Hochul. So the mayor announced a new $53 million plan to give migrants prepaid meal cards. Adams says this is cheaper in the long run. Critics say, no, it isn't. You shouldn't be spending any of this money, and it's only going to encourage migrants to come to the Big Apple. And taxpayers are going to have to pay for it, and they are going to wind up getting things that the taxpayers who are paying for it can't get. Let's debate.
And again, that's why I pulled this clip, because it's something we just said. No matter how hard we try, we won't be able to get those, especially those funds, as quick as these migrants are getting. We wouldn't be able to receive that help. Not to say that the state that we live in wouldn't help its citizens, but they wouldn't help them at this rapid speed. Do you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that.
And then again, you have, as Chris pointed out, you have the president of the United States is a Democrat, and you have the mayor of New York, which is a Democrat. The governor of New York is a Democrat, but you're not. Seems to me like you're just leaving these folks 3 sheets to the wind, not helping them out. You're taking out you're picking out the pockets of the New York State citizens, but not giving them any federal money. So I want to know, how is this $53 million meal card going to help y'all, the citizens of Chicago and the citizens of New York?
Yeah, the only thing I could see, as you mentioned a few episodes ago, this is definitely political. This is definitely for the vote. And I say, okay, if they do vote for Biden, okay, now what? Now he's president again. So where's your taxpayers? Because they're not going to be able to make enough money to pay enough taxes for all this they giving out.
What's up there, Tampa Supreme? And see, you have the same sentiment that we hear from a lot of people. Now, migrants go back home. We used to hear that. Remember?
go back to Africa, all that. I ain't never been there.
I wasn't born there. I was born in Kentucky.
Okay.
That's the state I'd be going back to.
All right. What's up with that?
Right, but you're right, Char. We did point it out, that this was a political game. They needed something. They could not run on the abortion. They could not run on high gas prices. They could not run on anything. So they chose what Donald Trump came to power in 2016 with: migrants, immigrants. In 2016, it was who? Right. And in 2024, it's now who? The game is the same, but the only thing that players have changed. In 2016, It was the Muslims. In 2024, it's the Mexicans. Both have M's on them. And you're right, Tampa. I'm trying to keep up with the comments as much as I can. But yeah, we've done some some things on that. What they breaking into people's houses, they're attacking people in the street, robbing, killing, stabbing. Yeah, crime has definitely gone up in Chicago and New York since this influx of migrants. Agreed, Shark. Shark, you live there, so you can speak on that firsthand.
Oh yeah, they shoot. Like I always say on pretty much every episode, they love Macy's.
Yeah, we ain't talking about little Macy's and Goodwill. No, we talking about the real Macy's. They want that high quality clothes.
That's right.
They don't want the fake polos. They want the real.
Want the tag in it.
Right, the real tag in it. They don't want that three-legged horse. Let's continue.
News Nation political contributor Chris Hahn from the Aggressive Progressives podcast, and the Republican minority leader of the New York City Council, Joseph Borelli. Joe, I haven't seen you in a minute. Thank you very much for coming on the new show here at News Nation. It's good to have you.
Hey, Joe. Thank you.
And by the way, I like the matching domes on you two guys. It's the only thing that you guys share in common, by the way. All right, so Chris Hahn, I start with you.
How do you gladly trade you?
No. This is Ferret. I had this paid for. I'll tell you where the guy is. So, Chris Hahn, all right. How do you justify paying this kind of money when there's so many and so much need who are citizens and taxpayers in New York City?
You know, the best thing that ever happened in New York was letting people who come here from around the world do their own cooking. And you know what? If this is going to save the city even 10% of what they're spending right now to feed these families, then let's give it a try. Right now, it's only a pilot. We'll see if it works. If it works, expand it. Let these people have a little dignity. Look, it's not New York City's job to solve the migrant problem. It is the Congress's job, and they don't seem willing to do anything about it. So the city's got to take every step it can to feed these people and make them feel a little bit more comfortable while this gets sorted out in Washington.
Now, we heard what he said. He said that this was only going to be a pilot. Now, if I remember correctly, Social Security itself was only going to be a pilot.
Tolls were going to be a pilot. The increase of payphones was going to be a pilot. Let's just go back in time.
Right.
So anything is introduced is never taken away. So they need to stop it. We don't live too long to know that. Tell that to somebody else.
Right. Who you fooling with that one? Not us. We were born on the weekend, but it wasn't last weekend.
Exactly.
Okay, come on with it. Pilot. All right.
Pilot, just a few people. That's how you start off. A small sample size. And you keep up with the people and make numbers and everything. Y'all ain't doing none of that. Stop it.
Right. Yeah, we can even equate that to being a pilot on a TV show. It's a lot of, we didn't know that some of the episodes that we knew that were famous now only had pilots. Never heard of the right. So what are you talking about? You only do it to a small percentage of people, not at the tone of 53 million.
Yeah, I think we born last weekend.
Borelli, you and I share being second generation in this country. We had grandparents who came here. They just did it a different way because the system was different. What do you make of this exercise in decency for the huddled masses that have found their way to our shores?
Look, the circumstances certainly were different. Certainly our ancestors from Italy, those from Ireland, those who are trying to come now from India, Pakistan, China, wherever you want to come from, most of the people who are trying to get into this country are trying to do it the legal and proper way. And unfortunately, to hear something like a $53 million proposal, this is only 500 migrant families, by the way, and we're supposed to be happy because somehow we've been so inefficient at taking care of these migrants. It's costing over $3 billion a year, that by saving a few dollars, the savings is $7 million potentially, we're supposed to be happy. Of course, this is just not a sustainable system. I know that, Chris knows that, you know that, and unfortunately, things like this, which make the creature comforts for some of these migrants a little easier and a little better, are only going to lead to more migrants coming to New York City. We haven't seen a slowdown. We have 70,000 or so in our care today, and that's most of the.
Shar, you noticed we've been kind of focusing on the southern border,
Okay.
but for this guy to make his point, who they got on the screen?
Somalians, Haitians, something.
Right, them dark colored fellas. If we talk about the southern border, wouldn't you think some of those pictures that they flashing in front of us right now would be more beneficial to show Latinos, not Somalians?
Right, if that's your pilot.
Right.
Catch a flight. Catch a flight.
Catch a flight and go right and go where? I tell you, some of the things that they say, but I gotta agree with the guy here. Now, again, we covered in one of the episodes that we talked about before. You know, a lot of people came to Chicago because they heard through the grapevine, hey, all you got to do is get here. Now with the incentive of $10,000, $9,000 a month, you don't think that word ain't got back to Mexico?
Yeah, them WhatsApp apps are on and popping.
Right. What you say? What you say? Donde vas?
But I'm still wondering. I'm just wondering if they're gonna mention jobs. But continue.
Well, we heard jobs once, but not too many people had them.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if this guy gonna mention it.
Okay.
40 who came in total.
Chris.
People aren't coming to America for a $1,000 gift card. People are coming to America because they are fleeing atrocities. I, too, am a second generation from an immigrant family, Italians and Jews. And I'll tell you, they didn't leave Europe because they were happy in Europe. They left Europe because there was a problem. They were fleeing the Nazis in Germany. They were fleeing the fascists from Sicily. And they came to this country for a better life, same as these people are trying to do who are crossing our border now. A shame on our Congress for not acting over the last 40 years, quite frankly, to solve the problem. There have been solutions proposed. There was a 2013 bill that was a very good bill, far more progressive than this bill, and supported by people like Marco Rubio, who are now saying they won't support this bill, which is the most conservative, border security-centric immigration bill we've seen in 40 years. Look, we got to solve the problem. I get it. New York City shouldn't bear the burden by itself, but we can't just sit back and say people are going to come here for a $1,000 gift card. Trust me, they're not.
What do you say, Shar? You think people would come to New York if they know they was getting $1,000 a month a gift card coming from a land of impoverished, a land of nothing?
Why not? Because if it starts with $1,000, what else can I get?
Right. Now, one thing we do know, and this is no slight at the Latino population, but we do know that they can live in a house with four or five different families, 3 or 4 different families, especially if they're a small family. It's mother and daughter, mother, father, you know what I'm saying, kids, 1.2 here, whatever. And they can live and they can take that $1,000. Say you got 3 families, taking that $1,000, stacking it up for 6 months. All they're paying is what? Maybe you split if you can find a place to live. Say you're paying $1,000 a month between 3 families. The rest of it you banking.
Yeah, and they're going to save and do whatever they're going to do. But it's not that, he's just talking about, $1,000. It's more than that.
It's much
They
more
got
than
here.
$1,000.
A lot of people got here with nothing. Literally was told, hey, want to catch a flight? Okay, go over there and the bus will pick you up, take you to the airport. Governor, he gonna fly you over there. Then there's another bus gonna pick you up. Here's your package here. Here's your backpack with the things you need. I mean, a lot of things were furnished. So stop saying just somebody's watching the news.
Right.
$1,000. Let me pack up and leave. No, it's not like that.
Right. Believe me, they get a lot more than $1,000 when they get here, buddy. So again, we was born on the weekend, but wasn't last. Let's continue.
Mayor Adams is pushing back on an editorial in the New York Post. The paper accuses City Hall of using a firm with little real-world experience to administer its new migrant debit card pilot program. It gives 500 migrant families prepaid cards for food and baby supplies. But the Post reports migrants could actually get much more, up to $10,000 a piece. And the company administering the program says it has no...
Up to $10,000 a piece. You got a family of 5, and each one of y'all get $10,000 a piece.
Yeah, because I know, I'm just saying, if that's my family member and, we can't include that person, they're no longer my family. You get
That's
your
right.
card, I get a card. Meet you
That's
out
right.
back.
I got me some newfound family. Jose, Hector.
I meet you out back.
Right, we family. What's our mama name? I was born where? All right, let's get the story straight. We're gonna get that cat 10 grand.
Yeah, they really getting the hookup.
Right,
Okay.
they got the hookup. Right, they gonna get that money.
Yeah.
Just because they don't speak the language, that don't mean they stupid.
No experience in this type of giveaway, according to the Post. The mayor says when the city awarded the contract, it looked for city-based businesses owned by minorities.
I don't want tax dollars going outside the city to buy from large corporations outside the city. We want to invest locally in our local economy. They hire locally. It'll deal with our unemployment issue. So our holistic approach to government is different the way others. We want a holistic approach.
Well, City Hall says the migrants
pause
getting the prepaid debit card.
Let me break that down. What he just said.
Yeah, break it down. I'm glad you can. Well, I'm glad you can, because I can't. Go ahead.
What he was saying was, we want to keep the money locally. We want to put our hands on it, so we can take out what we want to take out, and then give some to the minority people in our city. But we're going to keep the big chunk of. We just need to keep our hands. We want to be able to dish it out. We don't want no outside, entity. That's what he was saying.
Right. We don't want somebody we don't know, because you heard the start of this particular clip right here, that this company has no real experience in this kind of in this field of endeavor. They're kind of winging it. Maybe the migrants know. Maybe the migrants know that too. Yeah, man, they don't know what they're doing. Listen to the news. See, they think we're stupid, Hector.
Thank you.
Cards will have to sign an affidavit swearing the money will only be used for food and baby.
You knew I was going to stop that. They got to sign an affidavit.
I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't understand the English. I could not read. They told me to sign right there. I didn't know.
Sign this piece of paper and say you swear that you will not go to the store and buy chips and dip in cerveza. You only buy food and baby needs. Yeah, I'll sign it.
Okay, right there. Okay, I signed. Thank you.
How you gonna prove that? How you gonna prove that I'm not? You gonna get an item? You want me to send you back the receipt every time I go to the store? How you gonna know?
They really playing in our face. That's all I could say. They thought we were born last weekend.
We got to. I need to change my birthday. Shit, and start calling my name instead of DJ Music, and start calling myself every other week.
Or the weekend.
Hey, Rogue, see how you doing? Welcome. Come on in. We're talking a little migrant crisis here tonight. Telling you how it's affected us and folks in Chicago and New York and different things like that. So far, we run into a whole bunch of how do we say it? Hot wind BS.
Right.
Caca.
Right.
Let's continue.
Supplies.
There are questions tonight about a controversial program launched by the Adams administration to give migrant families prepaid debit cards to buy food and other things they need.
CBS 2's political reporter Marsha Kramer is here to sort it all out. Marsha.
Well, Dick and Dana, Mayor Adams says giving asylum seekers debit cards to buy their own food will save the city millions. As the head of the city council's Oversight and Investigations Committee.
Hey, Short, before we go any further in this, and for those of you that have been listening, I want to see if y'all catch the same undertone that I catch in this particular clip right here. And it's going to come up at the end, but I want you to see how it slowly, progressively got to where, this is not another one of the. I hate to be no. I'll just see how many of you folks think like me.
Wants to know why the city issued a $53 million no-bid contract without seeing if it could get a better deal.
I think you should bid it out to see who would do the best job at the best cost for taxpayers.
Councilmember Gail Brewer says she wants to investigate a pilot program launched by Mayor Adams to give asylum seekers prepaid debit cards that will allow them to buy food, baby products, and other necessities at supermarkets, bodegas, groceries, and convenience stores. The $53 million contract reviewed by CBS 2 gives the firm Mobility Capital Finance lots of fees for services, including $125,000 one-time setup fee, $250,000 in annual management fees, and fees based on how much money is distributed to migrants, $1.5 million for the first $50 million handed out, $2.5 million for the next $100 million. The pilot program will involve 500 families staying in short-term hotels like the Row and the Watson. According to the contract, the most a card can have is $10,000, but most cards will be refilled every 4 weeks. A family of 4 can get about $1,000, $35 a day, and they can buy whatever food they want to eat.
I don't know exactly how it's going to work. In other words, I do say from the release it would be for diapers and baby products and food, but you have to be careful that that's what it's actually going to be for.
Mayor Adams.
Okay, you see all that money somebody's gonna get all that setup fee. All that was setup fee and cost to operate. The $1 million here, the $1,000 here, and all that setup fee, right? Now, if I was in business and I was you had a business, right? And I was a vendor. We know each other.
Yes.
And you didn't know this lady that was on the screen over here, and she saw all that money. I wonder if his buddy. I wonder if Sean's buddy is the one getting that business. Let's call attention to it first. I showed how much money is out there. I remember that part now. Let's continue. Let's call attention to how much money is being made by some company in New York.
Insists it's an innovative way to save money and prevent food waste because many asylum seekers don't eat the food they were given in the hotels and shelters. He said if the pilot program is successful,
it is going to save us in the area of $7.2 million a year. I believe $600,000 a month.
Were there other people that could have provided the same service for less money? Are you getting the best bang for your buck?
Without doubt.
The mayor insisted that part of the allure of the company is that it was a minority-owned firm.
MWB, minorities, women. I forgot what the E was for.
Oh, I don't know.
But let's see.
These, women and minority-owned businesses have historically been locked.
Women and minority-owned businesses getting all that money from a black mayor. You sure we couldn't have found someone a little bit more qualified that mayor to get this out here? You sure that you did all your due diligence to make sure the company that we rewarded all this money to is qualified? Especially since it's women, minority-owned business. Go ahead, Shaw.
I'm thinking, this is a lot of fluff. I'm not able to obtain all this information at one time, but I'm reading in between the lines, and what I'm seeing is you got your hands on the money. You put this together. This wasn't something that was created overnight. You thought about this, you dilly and dallied and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You counted everything, you got your cut. You have those that everyone got their cut, and you distributed the rest of the money. Okay, that's what you do. But they're playing in our faces by stating that they're not sure what they're going to do. This is a pilot program. No, I don't believe you. You're not telling the truth. You're
This is
not.
not a pilot program. This is a racket. Call it what it is. This is a racket being performed and perpetrated right in front of us by these folks that's so-called politically charged. They want us to look at the political side of it, and they don't want us to see that, yeah, as a Democrat or Republican, both of y'all making money up off of us at the expense of bringing in these migrants. Because y'all know what was going to happen. You don't come up with wait a minute. A year ago, you couldn't have gone to this mayor and got a $53 million budget to house homeless veterans or to house homeless black folks. You couldn't have got a budget for that.
Been so many people. You got to vote on it. Got to go to this desk. They got to vote on it.
Wouldn't have been no vote. I think they would have just came out and said we ain't got the funds for that.
Right, that's true though. But that's the order thing,
Right. We'll see. That's my brother's favorite line. Instead of he flat out telling you no, you say, "I'll see what I can do." When you hear that, that's good as no. Right.
Right.
See what I can do.
So I know I'm disrupting what people traditionally would like for us to do.
Now, the mayor, who has a penchant for surrounding himself with friends and acquaintances, insisted he had no personal relationship with the owner of the company.
And that's the part that's key on. See right there? That's what this whole thing was leading up to.
Uh-huh.
Let's investigate the mayor to make sure, like Fonnie Willis, that ain't nothing going on. If we can't get him up out of this seat. Who?
Bishop. You know that Bishop was getting some of that money. The Bishop that was robbed with all that jewelry and Gucci.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his friend too. So I know he got some of that money.
Yeah, he got some of that money too. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. Right, that's going to see all that's gonna come out if somebody decide to do an investigation, and whether it's true or not. In this day and age, all you need is an allegation. That's it. Nothing is based on reality and truth anymore. The allegation itself will kick off an investigation. So, Mayor, unlike there's nothing we can do to save Fonnie right now. She put herself in her own pickle. Whether you agree or disagree, she should have known better. Nathan Wade should have known better. They knew what they were going up against. That's all I'm going to say on that. But, Mayor, I hope none of your friends or none of your relatives is receiving some of this $53 million, because you could ruin your career behind this. They're going to be looking. The question was just asked to you. They're going to be looking if they haven't already. Sure?
They're looking.
Down to the last quarter.
Yep, I'm pretty sure of it.
Said, and I quote, "We don't hang out in the Hamptons together or go to baseball games together." And that's what he had to say.
All right, Marcia.
Decade, border security. Trump got elected on building a wall in 2016. In 2020, we couldn't protect our borders from a Chinese virus. This election year, the border is the top issue again. The second biggest concern.
There it is. Like I said, there's that big bad border issue again. This time, in 2016, it was the Muslims. In 2020, it was the who? The Chinese. 2024 is who? They always need a bad guy. Republicans have nothing to run on, so they always need a bad guy.
Yeah.
Migrants, y'all the bad guy this year. Welcome. You know, if I agree with something from a Fox News commentator, something ain't right. I guess even the sunshine on the dog ass, he hold it up high enough.
Turn the government. You see what's going on here? Now, this poll was taken before Biden's migrant murdered a college kid in Georgia, and another Biden migrant.
What Biden got to do with a murder? You know how many murders go on every day in this country? I'm sure that somebody, matter of fact, I hate to say it, I'm sure that right now, as we speak, somebody is getting killed by somebody black, somebody white, somebody Chinese, by somebody Mexican. That's just the nature of the beast here. So it ain't Biden's migrant. It's not like he handpicked. I'm sorry about the young lady that got her life taken from her. Yes, I sympathize and I empathize with her. But to say this is Biden's migrant, let me. Hey, I'm gonna need you to do something for me. Come here. How does that make sense?
Hey, that's what they're gonna say. This is his call. So they all blaming it on Biden. There you go.
Right, and see, this is why you got to watch. This is why you got to watch the opposition. That's why you got to watch where they used to call it the Biden border crisis. They just said, forget it now. We're just gonna throw anything at that at you now.
Expect these numbers to go up, and it's not just safety. We're losing money. We're spending billions treating illegals like visiting foreign dignitaries, lavishing them with free hotel rooms, culturally appropriate meals, spending.
Yeah, that's the part that I agree with him right there. San Diego, they living in hotels. New York, they living in hotels. Chicago, they living in hotels. Hotels are where you and I would pay up to $100 a night for. You'll see here in a minute.
Money, phones, college tuition, sex changes. Do not forget about the sex changes. But the government doesn't want you to know about it. Rachel Campos Duffy tried checking into a secret migrant hotel in Arizona. Watch.
What you're seeing is basically an unmarked building. All signage is removed. That's the first sign you know that this is an NGO, a non-governmental organization, in this case, Casa Alitas, who is housing illegal immigrants. Let's go inside to see what happens. We're trying to rent a room.
Oh, no, we don't rent.
Why? Is this a hotel?
We don't. Can you guys get off the property, please?
Is this not a hotel?
Can you please exit the property? It's private property.
But is this where illegals are being housed with government funding?
Can you please get off our property? All of you, please. I'm going to call the police. You need to leave, please.
But I need to know what it is. Oh, Casa Alitas. This is an NGO paid for by government money.
We're not going to answer any of your questions.
¿Podemos hablar? Tú puedes hablar con nosotros si quieres. Yeah.
No, sorry, guys.
Talk.
You guys cannot come into our shelter.
You should be seeing directions to a hotel, aeropuerto.
Now, when Rachel went back to the hotel later, security threw rocks at her car and bloodied up her cameraman.
What are you going to do about it?
Oh, touch me.
Move! Move!
Money and disrespect this.
Well, sometimes, you know, as the old saying goes, better live chicken than a dead duck.
Yeah.
You got the information you needed there last time. So, folks, you see some of those NDOs around there, these unassuming buildings, but you know there's people in there. Chances are, especially if it's a hotel that's got all those markings on it like that, but there's nothing there anymore. There's nothing from the Hilton. There's nothing from the Hyatt, none of these hotel chains, but you still see people going there right now. Chances are that is one of these migrant shelter hotels where the government will pay the particular hotel provider X amount of dollars every month for those migrants being there. So again, this is big business. It's just bottom line.
Yeah, real big business. So big that This is not called a pilot.
No, this is not a pilot. This is the real thing. This is a full-blown show. This is a sitcom. This is a drama. Comes on every week. Matter of fact, this is the weekly news, 7 days a week. We could do a show on Migrant Crisis 7 days a week, Shaw, if we wanted to. You agree?
That's true. And I'm wondering, because I've noticed that the people that's in these places, because the amount of money that they're spending is a better quality of living, what are these people connected to?
Yeah. Again, that was a clip that I saw of a McDonald's where the migrants, one of the places where the migrants go to have lunch. The place looked like hell hit it. So you live like that outside. Well, imagine what you live like out inside.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, I think from what I used to see at my time living in Georgia, I lived not too far away from what they call one of those check cashing windows, and every Friday I would see those guys lining up outside to go into that building to go cash their checks. They would, a lot of that money they would be sending back to their country. And to be quite honest with you, if you got $10,000 a month, wasn't that one of the reasons why you coming here? Let me send some of this money home so we can bring some more of y'all over here.
Yep, that's some immigrant way.
Right. And why wouldn't you if your family went over there and got hooked up with brand new baby, brand new job, brand new car, all these good things, why wouldn't you take the chance of crossing the Rio Grande?
Right.
And if the government's so proud of their so-called compassion, why are they hiding it from cameras? Biden's paying his hotel owner donors with our tax dollars. He's importing foreign hotel guests to line the pockets of hotel CEOs and then hands you the bill. The migrants see us as rich whales they can squeeze. This Venezuelan migrant laid out the scam. Break in, drop a baby, and be a welfare king.
To all those women that find themselves pregnant and are in Latin America, please come have your baby in the United States. And if you get
Manosphere, where you at? There's some single mamas y'all can talk about really ripping off the system. This is for real here. So, hey, y'all can complain about these women all day long, and it would be true.
married, you'll get more back in taxes. And, well, if you have 5 or 6 children, can you imagine? My daughter is American and she gave me citizenship. She pays our rent. She pays our bills. She gives us $1,500 a month since she was born. I have 6 months in the USA and I have everything you don't have. Citizenship, residency, a good car, and a good apartment.
Now, when American women get pregnant, the government helps them stay single, work, and have an abortion.
What you think about that statement right there, Shaw? I don't know. I kind of
he been driving in them streets.
He been in the YouTube streets, hasn't he?
I think so.
That sounds like an Anton Daniels quote if I never heard BGS, Angry Man, all of them that said that.
Boy.
About these black baby mamas. Oh, Lord have mercy.
When a migrant gets pregnant, the government helps them cross the border, have the baby, get married, don't work, and put their hand out.
See that? When a black woman gets pregnant, the government help them out. Give them a job. And meantime, but up on the screen there, all jokes aside, look at some of the prices that these folks are getting. It's possible now. There's got to be some truth to this. For a hotel, for 1 month, a hotel is charging the government at least $15,000 a month. For food, almost $4,000 a month. For schooling, almost $5,500 a month. This could possibly be for one family. One family. So
Wow.
imagine. Go ahead, Sean.
And I'm just thinking the guy is not even going to have to pay any child support.
None. No. Yep. No child support. Exactly. Exactly, AB. Right now, there's so many homeless folks out there who wish they could get on their hand on a fraction of this money. I lived in the Bay Area, and for all you folks that know, there's a big church out there in San Francisco called Glide Memorial, and right down the street from Glide Memorial is a homeless shelter. Those folks had to be lined up by 6 o'clock. First come, first serve. They'd get their meal from Glide Memorial, and then they'd go and get in line for shelter that night. So imagine $15,000 a month somebody would pay you to stay in a hotel. Which would you take?
Wow. I'll take the no-name hotel, Alex.
That's right. For 200, Alex. For 15,000, Alex. You hit the daily double.
Wow.
AB, before we go any further, reparations is one of those things. To me, I would say that the government will never give black people, because they would have to come to grips with their own nastiness. They would have to come to grips with being who they are. They would have to, so many of their heroes would have to be turned into villains. That's the first thing with reparations. You got to say, I'm sorry for it first.
Time producers crunch the numbers. A migrant family of 4 in New York could get over 20 grand a month in freebies. 500 a night at a hotel, 130 a day for food, and having 2 kids in public school costs us 5 grand a month. We didn't even tack on Mayor Adams' $1,000 cash gift cards, the free healthcare at the ER, or the free phones and free lawyers, or the $400,000 in free college tuition per dreamer. Meanwhile, taxpayers with jobs in New York pay thousands to live in a closet.
Welcome to my 80 square foot apartment that I paid $17.50 for.
This apartment's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps long.
I'm basically living in an RV or van without wheels.
New Yorkers aren't stupid. They're seeing migrants living large on the news while they get pounded for rent and groceries.
These guys are receiving like $4 grand a month. $4 grand a month to live in hotels and buy things and stuff. I'm like, aren't we the ones in need?
Absolutely. Aren't there some folks out there in need? Think about this, people. Folks literally go to work 8 hours a day, sometimes 5, 6, 7 days a week, and still don't take home $4 grand a month.
I remember hearing when I first was around the YouTube streets in around 2016, 2017, the people worked at Walmart and still was qualified for food stamps. Right. And I just never could understand that, but it's true. It's not people are working, they don't have a working wage, living wage rather.
Right, the working poor is what they basically what they are. Yeah, I'm going to work. Yeah, I got a job, but it's still I don't have enough to pay the bills. What I'm gonna pay this? What I'm gonna pay out this paycheck? That's a lot of Americans live that way. This month, okay, on this paycheck, I'm gonna pay this and this. On this paycheck, I'm gonna get. Imagine $4,000. Median income for the average American is what? Well, average black man, what? I think we just got around 55 grand. Do 4,000 a month. Somebody with a quick calculator. Getting pretty close to that 55 grand a year.
Yeah.
I know I'm not quick on math, but some tell me you're getting pretty close to it. If you're getting $4 grand a month, what's the incentive to go to find a job? None.
Well, according to them, this is a pilot. They came here for a better way of life, and they're looking for work.
Yeah, they're getting a better way of life, but they just ain't looking. They ain't getting no work. They're getting what they're looking for. It's just not out of that work commitment that they came over and talked about they was gonna have.
Right.
The people from the United States, on top of that, we're giving away money to other countries. we're the ones in need. Like, this is ridiculous. That's why I've never voted in my life, and I'm voting this year for Trump.
I say we flip it. Walk to Mexico, claim asylum because the libs are persecuting me. Emma has another baby. Oh my God. And wait for the checks to roll in. Kevin O'Leary is the chairman of O'Leary Ventures. Kevin, this is really audacious, what not only our government's doing, but what these migrants are doing.
Well, clearly the 2016 election that had this as you pointed out earlier, a number one issue, it's changed a little bit this time. First of all, it's policy unresolved that's turning back into politics. And that's a little unusual because right now on a bipartisan basis, this is the number one issue. But now it's at the state level because the cities that have turned into migrant sanctuaries are burdened with this incredibly expensive metric that you're detailing here. But it's not just New York. Chicago's got issues. Many cities have issues. And all of a sudden, the people that vote, and here we are 9.5 months, 10 months away from the election, are realizing the impact of this unresolved 2016 issue now hitting them right in their own jurisdiction. And so I predict this probably becomes the number one and maintains that status as both sides turn this into a huge fight.
What you mean turn it into? It already is already political. They're already using this migrant thing as a political jousting. That's all they're talking about. That's what every politician right now is speaking about. Everyone that you run into is talking about the border security. Everyone.
Yeah.
They just had a border security bill on that could have passed, but the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, said nope, DOA, dead on arrival. Don't even think about it.
Now it's hit home. I mean, New York's got lots of other problems these days, but this one's getting up to the top of the New York charts. Right. And I think that's going to make it even more unstable and really going to be a very interesting outcome in terms of a general election.
What does this do, though, to the country's foundation? If you have overwhelming waves of migrants moving into these gorgeous cities and then it bankrupting these cities, the services aren't as good, the streets aren't as good, and a lot of the families living in the cities move out because they can't afford it and don't want to deal with the drama. And then they go to the counties and they go to the suburbs. What does this do to the country at large?
Well, that's already happening. The competition of states started 5 years ago when all of a sudden taxes and inefficiencies and poorly run jurisdictions started seeing people.
Well, he was right about that. That's not nothing new there. That's called redlining. We've been going through that. That's not nothing new there. Yeah, absolutely, it's been happening. Hey, you can go to some of these places called Sundown Town. You can go to Forsyth County, Georgia, where they ran out every black person in the town. You can go to Lake Lanier, which used to be called Oscarville, before they ran every black person out of the town before they flooded it. It ain't nothing new.
Believe, and you can count San Francisco as one of those places. You can now count the state of California. You can count the 1,200 license plates that are changed into Florida from New York State every day. And so that's happening anyways before the migrant issue hit. The more successful states like Tennessee, if you look at Nashville, it's the fastest growing city in America, have figured out a way to deliver goods and services on a very competitive basis. This is really about management. It actually is about management. Some cities are well managed, some states are well managed, and others are not. And now, post-pandemic, we have the competition of states. And I frankly think it's healthy.
I do too. And it's hurting the punching power of these blue states.
Numbers in today on.
You said it at the end. I wanted you to hear that. You're right. It's hurting the punching power of the blue states. You said that earlier. Sure does. You don't have much clout as you do when you ain't got no money.
Okay.
It's all about the power, isn't it? First you get the money, then you get the power.
How
how much Chicago has spent on the migrant crisis. In total, nearly $300 million has been spent since October 2022. That does not include the cost incurred by other agencies like CPS, the Department of Streets and Sanitation, or Cook County Health. $206 million of that has gone to Kansas-based healthcare provider Favorite Healthcare Staffing to operate the city-run shelters, a group that has come under scrutiny by some aldermen who have said the city is paying them too much. There are currently more than 11,000 migrants in 23 shelters, and former.
They're coming back to that number again, Shore. They only help 5,000 of these 11,000 people. 23 shelters. How did they pick out the 5,000 of these 11,000 people? Where did they go to? Let's go to this shelter this week, and let's go to this shelter. Grab two.
Okay.
More buses of migrants are expected to arrive in Chicago today.
There's a lot at stake for the migrants, with Chicago bearing the responsibility for providing shelter. The county covers health care, and the state provides the wraparound services and relocation. But there's much more at stake for the mayor, with the question about, will the city commit to paying for care? The warmer temperatures and sunny skies providing a welcome respite for migrants hanging out outside this shelter in Pilsen. But the future may not look so sunny after Mayor Brandon Johnson backed out of a commitment with the county and state for the city to contribute $71 million to care for migrants through the end of this year.
I think that Mayor Brandon Johnson.
$71 million.
Ooh-wee.
On top of the money that they've been already spending to the end of the year. Now, if you were a migrant and you heard that, would you not try to make your way to New York or Chicago?
Definitely be encouraged, because you got other people telling you to come.
Okay, come on down, man. Come on. It won't take you long. You just got to suffer a little bit, but you're going to get it.
Seems to want to hold a moral high ground that he is absolutely entitled to, given all that Chicago has done for this population. But we need to continue to see his actions and money match that sentiment.
Last week, Mayor Johnson refused to commit to new funding for migrants, despite the state and county pledging a combined $250 million. Today, after an unrelated news conference, Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle careful not to criticize her protege. Are you disappointed that the mayor agreed to the city's portion of the funding and then backed out?
As I said, I've worked with the governor and the mayor to try to meet the challenges of new arrivals since August of 2022, and I'll continue to do that.
Political observers called Johnson's decision a strange move, given that he calls himself a collaborator.
Clearly, he's been under a lot of pressure from the Black community, particularly from Black members of the City Council, for months about the distribution of resources to Black communities. And perhaps he felt as though if he made this kind of a commitment to migrants, that there'd be a lot of backlash.
No one in the state of Illinois, in this country, is questioning Mayor Brandon Johnson's commitment to this mission.
But now, some are.
I really want to believe that there is nobody more committed to this mission than Mayor Brandon Johnson, but of course, the money is really where that rubber hits the road.
There it is, folks. Where the money hits the road, where the rubber hits the road. It's all about the money. Now, again, I'm not saying, of course, I'm not a whatever accuse an official of doing something, but you folks, y'all got some explaining to do, man. Now, I don't understand why you got folks can have all this, trying to come up with all this money for these new influx of migrants coming into cities like New York, cities like Chicago, but you can't find this same money for folks that desperately need it, that's been there for years and years and years, homeless for years.
Well, the short answer is it doesn't give them what they want. So
more money.
The federal government, they want what they want as far as the political vote, and so they paying for it.
Right.
This particular way.
I would think so too. Before we close on up out of here, Shar, anything else you want to contribute to the conversation and talk about before we roll on up out of here?
That's all I'll have to add for now.
Yeah, I was before I go. I got to get out on here to hear myself. Before I go, Little Bird sent me a clip. They tell me that your boy Kidney Hills had they had the white girl up in more than one white girl up in the crib. There was some in the boots, and there was some on two legs.
Oh no!
That's what I heard. Now, only allegedly. Let me put that in there.
Oh boy!
I don't want to talk bad about nobody, but maybe that's why it's hot busted. Not
Oh boy!
But listen, if you go back and look at some of his streams, which I rarely did, made basically from clips, he did look a little high strung at times, didn't he?
Yeah, seemed a little occupied. I will say that.
Yeah. The only thing was missing some peeking out that window. Who that?
Sad
But
to hear.
anyway, yep. But anyway, Charlotte, we'll be back next week. Again, looks like all went well on this live. So we'll probably be doing this again live, same bad time, same bad channel, coming at you with some more migrant news. I wouldn't expect any good news, so we'll probably just be talking some more on why they're doing this. Like we don't know.
Right. Maybe we can count up how much we'll be paying for the rest of our lives.
Right. And for you folks that dropped on down in the chat room there, Rogue C, AB, I think who else came in? Tampa Supreme came in. A few of the others dropped in. Thank y'all folks for tuning in with us again. We'll be back next week to do this all over again. If you got nothing to do tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, 8 p.m., you can catch me live on the radio with the Music Cafe, brought to you by the good folks at Say It Loud over our Facebook group over there. If you're not part of our group of the jazz group, come on over, or the Say It Loud music group, come on over and join and be a part of the fun that goes on over there, folks. But again, till tomorrow night, for those of you tuned in, and until next week, thank you so very much. My man says, watch your 3, your 6, and your 9 sharp. Be careful, be safe out there messing around with them migrants. You know, of course, keep sending me the good news, because we got to keep it real around here.
All right. Peace, everyone.
Let me play this clip before we get on up out here.
Immerse yourself in the soulful rhythms of classic R&B jams, your 24-hour internet radio station. We're serving up a succulent blend of today's hits and yesterday's classics, all with minimal commercial interruptions. From the golden age of soul to contemporary chart toppers, we've got the tunes to keep your day grooving. Whether you're reminiscing or discovering fresh beats, our carefully curated playlist is sure to hit the right note. And if you can't get enough, feel the beat a little deeper by following us across all social media platforms. Dive into the timeless world of rhythm and blues with classic R&B jams, because good music never goes out of style.